The first thing is to arrange your fabric, both front piece and back piece together. You can do it as your preferred length. So from my neck to sleeve, that's what I use to fold this fabric. So I'll fold both front and back on each other. The first thing is to get our neck width, which is 3 inches. Then the neck depth for the back is 0.5. This helps the lapel to stay well on the neck, so that's why we are doing 0.5 and not 1 inch. So for the front we will do 9.5 inches depth. So for the neck to nip to sleeve we do 17 inches. Then from there I'll come down my sleeve round. My sleeve round was 10 inches, about 10 inches or 11 inches or so. So just do what you want for your own. It's the wideness of your neck that I'm seeing here, so that's what I'm doing here. So you just mark it. Then the bust circumference is divided by 4 plus 6 inches. Then we mark it, then we take it down, so that should work for everything. So that's what we are using, straight down. So we mark it down. So next thing is to get our top length. So for this one I think I work for with 26 and 27 inches for the length, the top. So I'm marking it across, then ruling it out as I'm doing. Then we come to the armhole area. You either cuff it in with your check, or you use the ruler to do that side to shape it out as I'm doing. So you shape it out like that. The next thing is to trace our neck out for the back. That's for the back. Then the shoulder slope that will come down by 1 inch, we do what we rule it slantly like that. That is to prevent all this bulging or wrinkling at the neck area. So we cut them out. Then I added 1 inch extra to the length, so that's what happened there. So the next thing is to come to the front, and first, since we want the lapel to be 2 inches width, then we'll mark 1.5 at that area that will mark 9.5. So by the time we sew it, we come back to 2 inches when we sew it by ½ inch. So then we'll connect it to the neck. So the 1.5 that we mark there, we mark it straight down also. Okay, this neck connecting, we can either make it straight or we curve it. Me, I'm just doing my own thing, so I straight it, but you will still see me that I later change that to curve. So I curve that area with that ruler. So we now trace the 1.5 to the top length. So we mark 1.5 straight down, then we'll cut it as I'm doing. So this is where I change the neck style. So I just use the cuff to curve it in, then I'll cut it from there. To place our back and front together to join the shoulder, so we place it right facing right, just like I'm doing in this video. Just this is right facing right. Then we sew them by ½ inch. So I've used my pin to hold it down, and this is what it looks like. So after doing that, at that point of the neckline at the edge, I'll mark 0.5, since we are sewing by 0.5, just to use my pin to hold it, so that I'll be able to measure around the neck, like the open wideness, so that I can cut the lapel itself. So that's what I'm doing there. So this is what it looks like if I turn it all the way. So when you join this shoulder, you can do that first. Just go to your machine and join the shoulder. Then next thing is to measure from the open wideness from down the top hem, round towards the front neckline to the back neckline. So that's what I'm doing there. I will just take my tape rule around to measure the lapel length. I arrive at 60 inches, so I added 4 inches allowance to make it 64 inches. So I'll mark it on the material I'll be using, like the same material. So the width will be 5 inches, so that's what I'm doing there. That's 5 inches by 64 inches. So I will do the 5 inches round, then marked when I get to the measurement. Next thing is to cut our pocket for the front. So the width of the pocket is 8 inches, so I'll do that round. Then the length is 10 inches, so I'll cut it out. So we need just 2, so I'll fold it into 2, so that's enough for what we want to use it for. So we fold it by 1/2 inch by the side and down. Then on the top one, we either weave it, then sew it down, or we fold it small, then fold it by 1 inch again to sew it down before we attach it to the dress. So this is the dress. I've joined the shoulder already together. So next thing is to measure our neck round to where we have that 9.5 for neck width. So measure that 9.5 marked, round towards the back to the 9.5 on the other side. So the measurement we have is what we will use on the lapel. So I'm sorry that place didn't show, but that's what I did there. So what I have there is about 13.27 0.75 or so. So just measure your own. What you have there, just trace the measurement out. So a mistake that I did for the first one, I fold the lapel into 2 then, but we don't need to fold it. So we just need to cut it the desired length that we want. So we don't need to fold it into 2. The lapel is supposed to be 64 inches by 5 inches. So the 64 is for the length, while 5 inches is for the width. So the 64 inches, I fold it into 2, then mark the midpoint. That's what I did there. I used chalk to mark it. So I will do it on both sides. So you can either iron this time, or you marked and be sure of what you marked. So place the midpoint, measure that. I placed my tape 1 inch before measuring it, so that's why you're seeing 6 inches. It's supposed to be 2.5, so it's still correct. It's 5 inches. But if you want your lapel wider, you can do that one on your material. So for this one, can you see that I placed my tape rule 1 inch up before that? It's because of my tape rule has one skews around that first line, so that's why I did that. So I will mark what I have, that 13 point something that I have. I'll mark it, it's on fold, so I'll mark the 13. So if you have measured your neck round, like the 9.5 to the other side, you divide it by 2, so it's the 13.75 that I'm marking. So that 13.75, you mark it at the length, then you find the midpoint, which is 5 inches divided by 2, which is 2.5. So you will sew from that 13.75 that you've marked, you sew it down, just sew it straight. You can iron your lapel out into 2 so that you see the line for the midpoint, so that you won't make mistakes. So that's what I'm doing there. I've marked the 30.75, then the midpoint, which is 2.5, then I will sew from there. So I will just make sure I mark it around so that I won't make mistake. So this is what it looks like. So the space that we left will be for the neck round before the lapel, so the collar. So we are placing it from the side that we stitch, that place that we started stitching. So that's where I will start placing the lapel. So I'll place it round, but it won't go round, so we just have to sew it one after the other. So you sew one side first before the other side, so that you won't have because it won't form. You will just see that you pleat your clothes. So that's what I'm doing. This is where I'm sewing. So I will sew from one side of the, and you see that it's going around the back of the dress. So I will just follow my stitch like that. So just sew and follow it like that, and then you sew it straight down to the tip of the top. So I'm marking where the dress stops, so that's what I do there. Then I stitch it. The other side I didn't sew down, so I will now sew it down now. That's the exercise that we have, so we just trim it out. Then the next thing that I do is by sewing the side, but then it's advisable to join the pocket first before sewing this side. So after joining the side, it's time to join the pocket. So I want to join the top of the pocket, so you can either weave your clothes, weave the top, then sew it down straight, or you fold it a little bit by 0.25, then you fold by 1 inch. So the other side I will iron them by ½ inch. That's what I do here. I've used my iron to iron it down, then I've sewed the top, and you see what it looks like. So next thing is to now join it to our dress itself. So on the top I came down by 17 inches, then I mark it on both sides, then leave 2 inches from the mid side, from that lapel joining. Then that's where I place my pocket, then I will sew it around, leaving the up. That's all for this video, and this is the finished product. Kindly like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.